Yo, what's up? It's July 17th. I'm going to be talking about today a big news story that came out, I think it's today, about Atari. They're going to be dropping a new console soon. Probably not this year, just by the looks of the post that they released. It came on Kotaku, the story. The post, it shows a render for what the console looks like. Also talks about how they're going to be releasing classic games for the console, but also some current gen games. I just want to talk about that because it just, the render looks it looks pretty, I don't know, there's something old, dated about the look, and the console's not even out yet. It's got this really weird, these ribbed, segmented parts, and it's got a wood panel on the front. From what I understand, it's going to come in two versions. One's going to be like a solid plastic black panel in the front with like a red glowing Atari symbol. It's just a render, so that could change. But the second version is going to be black, I'm guessing plastic, probably not metal, frame with a wood paneling in the front. And they said that the design is to pay homage, I guess, or stay true to their roots of being, Atari, and releasing kind of like a vintage look, but also modern at the same time. And I think it just looks completely vintage, which my problem with that is this isn't the Atari, at least in spirit. The bones of this company is no longer the Atari that released the games consoles that we know from back in the day. This is a completely, Atari's changed. Different people had bought out Atari over the years, and this is not the same company. I don't think anyone who still works at Atari used to work at Atari back in the day. So for them to say that we're trying to stick true to our roots, I think it's a little troubling, because those aren't your roots. Those are not you're not that company. It's like if I was to completely, buy out Skechers or something like that, and then just like release a sneaker and be like, oh, I'm trying to stick true to our Skechers roots and not do anything too crazy with the design. Like, I think it's time to do something too crazy with that company. It's time to do something crazy with that company, because that company went under, for all intents and purposes, under the old vision. So why would you want to keep anything of the old vision? But of course, it's because nostalgia and things like that. It's Atari, the name, and people will buy it just because it's Atari, the name, even though it's not the same company in any shape or form like it used to be. So they're just betting on that and betting on those people to just pick it up, which is fine, I guess. I just really don't like the look of the console, but it's not about the look. It's about what's inside of it, and that too, it's a little suspect, because they said in the presser that it's going to have classic games and it's going to have current games. Now, it says verbatim, it also means that we will be delivering classic gaming content. We will also be delivering current gaming content. And that phrase, current gaming content, I have no idea what that means, because we're in a gaming golden age right now. There's AAA games, there's indie games, and then you have these large indie developed games, like, developed by indie companies, but pretty much AAA games. There's Warframe, Path of Exile, you got all sorts of titles, Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and DayZ, and all sorts of games that were developed by one or two man gaming companies, or one or two people, that are these really big, huge games now, and they've kind of become a AAA gaming company after the fact. So is it gonna be playing current gaming content, as in, the most latest the latest games out there, Far Cry and Grand Theft Auto, like all the big AAA games, or is it going to be playing current gaming, Hyper Light Drifter or what's the game with the underwater? I forget, but yeah, those games are fine, but it's a little tricky to. It's kind of a lie to say that it's current gaming content. There's a lot of current gaming content that is not, next gen games, and I just want to know if it's going to be a next gen console. It's got 4 USB ports, so maybe it's got a HDMI. So yeah, that's just a little. I just a red flag. I guess maybe they just kept the wording that vague because they don't know which third-party developers are going to sponsor the console yet. They don't know which, what games will be coming to it. So to say that it'll have next-gen games, they just want to be a little cautious. But, if it's a next-gen console and you're going to be mass marketing it, I'm sure you'll get some kind of next-gen games company to attach to it. Even if it's not so next gen, as long as it's a next gen console, you'll get some next gen games on it. So to not just say that it's going to be current generation HD games or just something that's a little bit less vague is a little worrying about it. But we'll see. It's early. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm really excited about this because I think it's time for a shakeup. We've had so many years of just Xbox, PlayStation, and whatever Nintendo drops. It's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo all the time. It's nice to see someone jump back into the ring, especially someone who's a little familiar to us, and that way we can kind of, even though it's not the same company, we can kind of expect a higher quality product, and it's not just something that's like, was never gonna go anywhere, like the Ouya. I'm sorry, we all knew Ouya was not gonna go anywhere except for the people that backed it. I guess, I don't know, maybe they were just hoping. Maybe they also didn't know that it was. They also knew that it wasn't gonna go anywhere, but they were just hoping that it would. Or Steam machines. Yeah, hopefully this turns out a little bit better than those, because they've got a monopoly on the game right now, and I want to see someone else break into it. So those are my thoughts. First console in 20 years, the Atari box. It looks very interesting. It looks like a guy wearing a pinstripe suit almost. Is what it reminds me of. It's like your granddad back in the 70s. The wooden strip, it's just so old. It's like an old Lincoln or something, like a Thunderbird is what I envision when I look at this console render. The other one with the black strip in the front, it's fine, I guess. I just don't. The ribs on the back just remind me of old VCR players. So hopefully they change their mind about the design or not. Like, again, I don't care how it looks as long as it plays well. So hopefully they make this a real contender out there for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and then we can get some great games out of it. So that's it. That's the update. I just wanted to talk about that really quickly. Please like the video, subscribe, share it. Give me your thoughts on what do you think about the new. Am I overreacting? Does it look good to you? Do you think this is something that's going to appeal to the 15, 14, 16-year-old crowd out there, the ones that really push console sales? Do you think Atari's trying too hard with the wooden strip? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video.